Hi there folk, it's the humble spud. Previously, in Karen's life, Karen married a fake rich guy who cost her over $200,000 in debt. Karen now needs to find a way to come back from this financial blow. Karen did not let this slip up get the better of her though, because Karen had a plan to make this marriage work out in her favor. She planned on secretly selling her new husband's mansion to increase her own bank balance. Even if no one wanted to buy the mansion right away, Karen was determined to sell it someday. Putting her mistakes behind her, Karen welcomed another son into the world. This time she called him Dave, because she didn't think he was cool enough to be named after her. Karen then decided to take a break from clubbing and concentrated on renovating her husband's giant house. Eventually, she got it in good enough condition to sell. Being a Karen, she sold her husband's mansion without his permission and argued with him when he got mad at her for doing so. Karen didn't have to worry about her husband being mad for long though, cause soon after he died, Karen had him cremated and added his urn to her collection. Then, like history repeating itself, Karen gave birth to another child straight after her husband's death. This time she named her daughter Little Karen. To cope with the pressure of being a single parent again, Karen went back to her old favorite pastime of partying and drunk a lot. She also ate the occasional mushroom and hooked up with random guys. Her life now a complete mess, Karen had no choice but to go to rehab for her alcoholism. Karen tried every type of rehab available to her, and at first it did not work. But after falling ill with alcohol poisoning, Karen got really serious about kicking the drink and started exercising and looking after her mental health, until eventually Karen cured herself and was no longer an alcoholic. Life back on track, Karen decided to find herself another man, but this time he would be closer to her age. For once in Karen's life, she actually enjoyed another person's company, so she wasted no time in making this person her husband. Being madly in love, Karen and her husband welcomed another child into the world. This time Karen named him Ollie after his father, since she loved her husband so much. Life was going well for Karen, and Karen spent her time more healthily by going to the salon and spa. Soon Karen gave birth to another daughter. She named Mini Karen after herself. But bad habits die hard, and soon she was back to her old Karen ways. This time her victims were her own children. She used every opportunity to be difficult and maliciously disapproved of her children's college majors and bullied them into changing it just because she felt entitled to do so, because she was paying for it. She also argued with her husband just because she really loved arguing. Eventually, this Karen-style behavior came back to bite her in the behind. After she tried to bribe a college official so that her favorite child Little Karen would get into a university worthy of her attendance, Karen got caught, and despite running from the cops and pleading not guilty, she was dragged kicking and screaming to prison, where she spent the next 6 years. With the manager not listening to her appeal, Karen had to do her best to get through the next 6 years, although she still had the occasional fight with other inmates cause she was a Karen and couldn't help herself. Finally, at age 57, Karen was released from prison. Though free, Karen was still miserable and found herself arguing with her husband like a real Karen, no longer giving a two fiddles. Karen ate some random junk a friend offered her, which unfortunately turned out to be very poisonous and nearly killed her. Convinced the end was near, Karen done her best to survive the next year. Just as Karen thought she was about to bite the dust, a miracle happened. A very electrified miracle. Karen was struck by lightning while out riding her bike, but instead of dying instantly, the lightning replenished all of Karen's stats. Basically, it made her a whole new supercharged Karen. Now in her twilight years, Karen used her newfound spark in life to add to her urn collection. First she added her mum, who hated her and left her nothing in her will. Then she added her stepson. Karen also tried even harder to be the biggest Karen she could be. She went out of her way to disapprove of her children's college choices and argued with her husband over the smallest of things. She even managed to add another lady to the Karen squad before going ultimate Karen mode and accusing her husband of cheating because he tried to look nice for his wife. With time running out for Karen, she added one more member to the Karen squad before dying of natural causes at age 73. Karen would be undoubtedly remembered for being the aggressive entitled monster lady that she was.